Hey everybody, it's Peter, and this is the Can-Am Outlander Max DPS 850. What does that mean? That means that this is a great value Can-Am four-wheeler ATV that also, in my mind, kind of gives you a great value option to compete with side-by-sides, in part because of a really good two-passenger setup built from the factory to do that, and you've got good storage, and you've got good features. So in this review, I'm gonna go through all of those features in detail and try to give you an idea of what this unit is, but I probably won't cover everything, and if I leave something out that you want to know, make sure you let me know in the comment section and in future videos, and do me a favor and hit subscribe, because I'm filming here at Torque Extreme Motorsports, or Extreme Torque Motorsports, here in Fredericton. They've got 3 locations here in New Brunswick, and they give me complete access to everything Can-Am. So if there's something that you want to know about this line of vehicles that I'm not covering, make sure you let me know, and do me a favor, leave a like on this video so these guys know that you appreciate me doing this, and they'll give me access to this to come back and do a video on this again or anything else in the lineup. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go in-depth review, and if you've got questions, we'll just keep coming back to this to create a video database of all the information you need. Let's get going with this review. So when you're looking at the two-person ATVs, there's a lot of ways to go about doing this. You can take single-passenger ATVs and kind of quasi-take accessories and make them into a two-passenger unit, and your passenger's probably not gonna love you for it, but the point is you get to go out together, and that's a key piece. Now, what's really cool about Can-Am stuff is their Link accessories, L-I-N-Q accessories. That's what this is. It's part of this unit, but you can attach things to the front, to the back. We're gonna talk about all of that, but one of the key things I wanna talk about is just passenger comfort and driver sort of maneuverability here. So first of all, you can see as I step up here, there's a single step there where I can put my feet if I'm in the driver's area, and there's a separate footwell area for the passenger. That means that your feet are not up on bars or anything weird. You've got some space to kind of move around and sit in this passenger seat. The other thing about this passenger seat is it is really, really comfortable. And when I say really comfortable, I mean there's a lot of side-by-sides that don't give you this level of comfort, and because it's nicely raised up, you've got a good view over the driver's helmet or around the driver, and a really good view compared to a side-by-side. So we're gonna pull you in and take a look at this seat as we move through the seat, around to the cargo area. It's not just this, there's actually more than that cargo area. And then we're gonna talk about the accessories, and we're gonna talk about suspension and technology in this. So let's start by pulling you in where I am and showing you this seat. So a lot of people shop specs and they shop pricing, and one thing they're not gonna find in specs and pricing is how comfortable this seat is. First of all, it's shaped really well, so you've got an area where if you hit the brakes in a hurry or if you're going downhill, you've got good shaping in here. The other thing is it's very, very cushy through here, so it really gives you an extra bit of suspension and cushion as well as the suspension itself. The other thing is the backrest here. A lot of backrests on these types of units, they just don't have the cushion, so you're banging your back against things, and when you're going over the rocky terrain, the backrest can be something that actually punches you in the back. So having something that's really soft and cushy allows you to comfortably put your back against there when you need to, but if you need to separate from it and it does sort of hit you a little bit, it's very cushy. The other thing is it's got really good support side to side. It's got good sort of lateral support, which means as you're going around corners, you feel supported and you're in place. I know it seems like I'm overplaying this, but when you sit on this unit, you really feel that difference. If you have someone that you want to take out with you on a side-by-side, this is an important piece. It's really going to make them enjoy it and not regret it. The other thing is little things, like when you sit in this seat, your elbows are going to be on these grips, which we'll talk about in a second, but even the storage area here has a little bit of padding in here. So if you were to bang your elbow into this, you're not hitting it into hard plastic, you've got some support in here. Now let's take a look at these hand grips here, because they're really well placed and you can really have some support and feel secure when you're in the back here. So let me just show you what I mean by that. So taking a look at these passenger hand grips, it's kind of a funny angle to film at. They are tilted a little bit towards me, which means that this is a little bit lower and this is a little bit higher. And that works with the angle of my shoulder, so this doesn't feel any further away really than this. And what that does is allows you in sort of straight lines to have some support. If you're in a lot of areas where you're braking or going downhill, you've really got support right there. If you want to have something where you've got some spread and a little bit forward grip, so you can grip things forward, this is a comfortable position as well. It's kind of, again, hard to explain how all of these positions really make it comfortable for your passenger to always feel like they're secure and always feel like they've got something to hold on to. But depending on the terrain, if you're up on the right side or left side, or if you're up on the rear or the front, or if you're braking or accelerating, you've always got something somewhere that's really comfortable to grab. So again, it seems simple, but it's well designed. So you combine great hand grips with great seating comfort, and you really have the recipe for a really comfortable long ride. You can go out all day with this, and your passenger's going to appreciate being here. So if we're going to spend that much time talking about passenger comfort, we also have to talk about the driver comfort. And same thing over here. You've got a nice flat, wide seat with a very, very cushy area. That again adds some suspension, some cushiness to the vibrating type roads, but it also makes it very, very comfortable for a long trip. And you can move forward and still have that padding all the way up here. So you've got a really comfortable seat here, really comfortable seat there, and basically that means you can enjoy this with a friend, with a guest, all day long. So if you have something that's comfortable enough to ride in all day long for 2 people, you're going to need some storage. And this is just so smart. This is the way Can-Am does all of their stuff. It's a simple connection link system here, and you probably can't see inside the way you need to. So let's just see if I can move you a little bit closer, and we'll take a look inside there right now. Sorry about my poor camera work, but nice and deep there, and you can see over, especially on the left side of your screen here, this easy quick connect system that allows this box to come in or come out. So again, this is a water resistant area. I don't know if you can see the lid there. Yeah, you can. So this area here has a gasket up there, so it's going to keep most of that water out of there and weather protected as you kind of roll through. So maybe you can't see. There's that gasket up there. Let me just show you what that's like. Again, a nice good gasket here that really kind of holds things tight, so you can take all of your stuff in here in this unit. But let me just go wide angle for a second. I'm going to skew the view a little bit. So that's sort of everything in one. But if you don't want to take this whole thing, you can take it off. You still have extra storage on this unit even without this. Let me show you what that's all about. So underneath this accessory, if you want to take this off, you've still got the rack, you can strap things down there, but this is what I really love. You've got this big open space here underneath that rack that's just part of it. This is always with you, and a couple things I like about it. First of all, just the general size. It is nice and wide, it is nice and deep, but the other thing is it's not key lockable. Some of the competitive units that have something similar, they key lock it, and that means you got to stop, turn off the unit, grab what you need out of there. If you want to keep just your straps in there, something to tow you out, or just little things, it's a really convenient space, and again, it's big, so you can fit a lot of stuff in there, even when you don't have the extra accessories on top. One thing I should point out about this top rack here is you can see how it's connected here. Very easy to latch and unlatch, but the other thing is you have the ability to put a little padlock through one or both of these latches on here, and that allows you to keep this locked. Once it's locked, they not only can't steal this, but they can't steal what's inside of it, so that's really helpful. Let's speak about one more thing about utility on this unit. So if you're buying a side-by-side or an ATV, and again, I really feel like the 2-passenger ability of this kind of takes it into that side-by-side category, but you still get good value. If you're buying something like that, you want utility, and this right here adds a ton of utility. This, of course, is the trailer hitch. You can have 1,650 pounds towed behind this, so 1,650 pounds. That's more than most small crossovers nowadays, or most small SUVs nowadays, and that really makes this a practical unit, not just for fun, but also for utility. So if we're going to talk about all this utility, we have to talk about the engine. And what's cool about this is it's an 850cc V-twin engine, but Can-Am, unlike other manufacturers, actually tells you how much horsepower it makes. This one makes 78 horsepower, which is pretty good for the class in an 850cc V-twin. Again, a V-twin is going to give you a lot of torque. That CVT transmission is kind of set up to give you a lot of torque as well. So you have a really reliable, but also really powerful engine in this to take your 2 passengers, your gear, and have some fun with it. That engine gives you a lot of fun, but another thing that ties into the fun is the electronics in this, so let's take a look at them right now. So we talk about this unit here, we gotta sort of start by sort of turning it on, so we're gonna freehand this and start by turning it on. You can see it's got the performance key there. So okay, first of all, you have a performance key, which allows you to unlock that full performance. We're going to turn the vehicle on. We're actually going to start it up as well. Now, oops, there we go. I am mic'd, and you will be able to hear this engine, but I'm really not raising my voice too much to talk over this. That's another key point on this unit. If you're going to take 2 passengers, you want to be able to communicate. It's not that loud. Now, as we scroll over here, you're going to see this ITC mode. So let's come back over there as we play with that, and you'll see what we have is the sport mode there. and then you have the sport mode will turn off, and then you have the, whoops, let me go back to work mode. So when the work mode is off and the sport mode is off, that's just the standard mode. Now this ties into an electronic throttle. That electronic throttle can basically be tuned here by essentially re-chipping it to allow you to have real aggressive performance or more aggressive performance for sport, allow it to have more of a torque feel to it, and just have that standard mode. So all of this is tied into making it useful for having some fun, as well as really useful for having you know, a working unit or just sort of a standard type unit. So that electronic throttle is all tied in there. You've got your four-wheel drive right here. And then you've also got the dynamic power steering, which is some of the controls right here. So one of the cool things about the Can-Am power steering is it really allows you to have sort of a variable control over how this vehicle works. And what that does is allows it to be easier to drive in working and in on the trail situation. So that dynamic power steering can vary the power steering based on your conditions. Really smart control unit on this. So we've talked about passenger comfort, we've talked about utility, we've talked about technology, but let's talk about the basics, just the general design of this vehicle that make it really practical for you. So first of all, you've got some preload adjustment here on the shocks, nothing too crazy there, but you've got a strong A-arm type, double A-arm type setup here. And one of the things I like here is a lot of the units will have a plastic protection piece in here, but they're not shaped like these. These are really going to direct all of your, you know, mud, gunk, junk, and, you know, long grasses when you go into the mud, all underneath the unit. So you've got good protection here. Now this one doesn't come with a winch from the start, but again, Can-Am has accessories for everything. We're going to talk about accessories in a second. You can add a winch to this, about a 3,500 pound winch would be perfect. It can handle all that. So everything is set up for you to add that if you need to, whether it's at time of purchase or at another time. So again, really good geometry. You can really see the centralized mass in this, and that's going to give it a real feeling of performance because it's nice and tucked in the center, tucked between the wheels, and give you a real good sense of balance. Stepping up here, you've got bright LED lights, sort of a high beam, low beam type setup in there. So you're gonna have all the lighting you need. Again, if you wanted to add accessory lighting, you could do that, but you're gonna have really good lighting right up there. One of the things I like about LED lights is they give that bright white light, and I always say that sort of helps you identify whether it's a rock or a raccoon, or a rock or a rabbit, something that's gonna move or something that's gonna stay put. So really good lighting is really helpful to have as well. Let's take a look at the front rack here as well. So one of the things I think a lot of people look over is these front racks. Now, of course, Can-Am has this link type system. What's really cool about that is everything that plugs into here can also maybe plug into a snowmobile or even a Sea-Doo or other types of things. It all kind of has that cross compatibility. So the nice thing is the accessories that they make for this unit are also accessories that work with other types of units in the lineup. And what that means is you get really good variety of accessories up here. The other thing worth noting is that they can take, this thing is rated for up to 100 pounds of weight on the front rack and up to 200 pounds of weight, again, all evenly distributed on the rear rack. That's quite a bit compared to some of the competition, which basically means you can strap what you need on here and not worry about it. You're probably not going to get to 100 pounds on the front, you're probably not going to get to 200 pounds on the rear, but the point is basically everything you're going to strap on here, you don't have to worry, am I over capacity, can the rack handle it, can the machine handle it? It can handle it just fine. So let's wrap up by talking about who this unit is for. Well, first of all, in the ATV space, with what you have here, I think there's tremendous value in everything that you get. You've got a good balance of technology, good balance of suspension performance, good balance of cargo capacity, actually really good cargo capacity, both with the racks, the extra inside storage, and the ability to add your accessories. And then the big thing is you've got really good comfort. So when we talk about this compared to a side-by-side, obviously if your goal is to get out on the trails and be really comfortable with two people, this is your unit because this is going to save you so much money. But even within the ATV side of things, without having to go to a side-by-side, you still have great value here. Now again, within the Can-Am lineup, there are so many ATVs and side-by-sides and off-road vehicles. You can always move up and down the lineup. Even within the Outlander lineup, there's so many ways to move. But this is a real sweet spot to me to give you the features that make the most difference to you off-road, but also give you great comfort and great practicality. If the goal of getting off-road is to take someone you love and have a great time and hang out with them and make memories, this is such a good unit for that. It gives you the balance of things that you need to go out and have fun. So, is it the Outlander 850? Is it the Outlander, Max DPS 850 for you? Or is there another unit? Let me know what you want to know about these types of units, and I'll make sure I come back to you. And I want to thank, again, Extreme Torque Motorsports. I'm at the Fredericton location. There's 2 other locations here in New Brunswick. Anywhere in New Brunswick, if you're looking for someone to take care of your Can-Am needs, they can take care of you. And I want to thank them again for giving me complete access to these vehicles, because if you have questions, you can let me know in the comments, and we'll come back to you in future videos and in the comment section. Thanks everybody for watching.